look at a second tier of benefits that are available. I see health insurance as a benefit.
Oh, I absolutely, I see that. I'm trying to organize this concept, and you here, delegation members, set the salaries for elected officials. So when you set that salary, then you have to have in your minds that this salary could, if you set the salary at $70,000, that in your minds, I assume, that includes benefits.
No.
No?
We don't know whether that person's going to take health insurance
I
from us or
know,
not.
so that's my question.
At this point in time,
It's precisely my question.
I think at this point in time, the answer to that question is, we didn't think about it when we set salaries for anybody.
Precisely,
And
that's what I'm bringing up.
And I
I think
think
conversation's good.
If you look at the contract, it is broken down, salaries and benefits, and they are completely different. And, you know, I'm not saying that there aren't some things that the sheriff should have, you know, such as dry cleaning, and to be able to be issued a weapon. I'm not saying that shouldn't be. What I'm saying is it is not authorized now, and he is spending taxpayers' money illegally. Simple fact. He's not covered under the contract. He doesn't have a special deal with either the commissioners or the delegation, but he is spending money on dry cleaning, purchasing items of clothing, et cetera, et cetera.
And what we're trying to do is to correct the problem.
Okay, but again, the
that's
sheriff
what
has to
we're-
recognize there is a problem.
That's what we're trying to do, is to correct the problem. Because I certainly recognize that we have not ever set this in any kind of anything. So we need to correct the problem. I've asked the sheriff to provide us with some thoughts, okay? And because it won't be long before we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with the sheriff's salary and the attorney's salary and all of those other things. And so, you know, if we could get your thoughts, and if you have an opportunity to talk to Attorney Dewhurst, you know, because you are both elected officials, as is,
Deeds,
yeah, what's her?
Ann Aiken.
Yeah, Ann Aiken. Also, you know, because you're right here in the building, our probate court person,
We don't have anything.
unfortunately is controlled by the legislature, and their salary is effective 1 July, $100, so I wouldn't talk to her. Okay, but we just need to
But
get
that has
this.
nothing to do with the county.
May I add that you keep going back to an elected official. The law says elected or appointed department heads come under the delegation for salary and benefits. The fact that they're elected doesn't mean anything. They're just included, elected or appointed.
So what you're saying, Frank, and I...
All department heads.
Okay. So the question becomes, who appoints them? Does the delegation?
The commission appoints them, and that includes, it states right in there, elected, appointed, department heads, and the county commissioners. We determine, the
All right.
delegation determine their salaries and benefits.
Okay. So, I'll have to get that RSA from you. But we probably need to include that in our letter to the commissioners, so that not only is the sheriff providing us with his input, but the county commissioners are providing us with their input in relationship to department heads.
Now, let me just say to the sheriff, I spent 3 years as a deputy warden in a federal prison. I know you got a tough job, and I'm not trying to fight you. All I'm trying to do is make it right. If it came up to me right now today to give you benefits for dry cleaning and all, I'd say yes, I'd vote yes. That's all I'm trying to do, is make it right, make it by the law. I'm not after you, I don't have anything with you. I helped you as much as I could to get elected, so don't make it a personal thing. I know you got a tough job, I've done a similar job, both in the military and in civilian life, so I'm just trying to help, believe me.
Well, sir, I'd like to believe you, but when you accuse an elected sheriff of 25 years of police service, 30 years, 33 years in the military, holding the rank of colonel, I question your motives, sir.
I didn't
And that's
accuse
all
you.
that I care
I
to
didn't
say.
accuse you of a crime,
All right.
that, like you put in a letter to the Attorney General.
Okay.
I never accused you of a
No,
crime.
no, you
All
just
right.
I may
did
have
it.
accused
You
you
just
of
did it in
wrongdoing.
public on the video.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, you were
other-
careful when and where you did it.
The
I
other
agree.
thing that I would like to ask the sheriff to do, and when he provides his thoughts on benefits, is to check with some of your contemporaries and see how their county handles it. And just add that, you don't have to do 9 counties, but just give us some indication, like maybe, Grafton and Hillsborough, or Grafton and Chichester, or somebody, I don't care who, but just a couple other examples, yes.
And Chair, are you going, next line of questioning, are we going to get to personnel at some point here?
Personnel.
We have a major shift in how we're handling the cyber side of your department. Are we going to go there?
If you would like to go there, you
Okay,
may go
thank
there.
you. David Myers, I don't know if he's deputy, good friend, respect everything he's doing for you, has been a major person in how you're handling your, I'm calling it cyber, your computers and security and so forth, where some of the other departments were, in the last budget cycle, were going with some off-site service to handle that for them. And my understanding is that sometime in the future, you're not going to have that person available to you. And that has to be a major shift for you in your department. So
That's
I'm
correct.
wondering going forward if you don't need to do it right now if you're not prepared to right now, but how do you plan on continuing to handle that internally with a new officer that again holds that special subset of skills? Or are you looking to break away that extra money that we allowed him to be doing that service to an individual in your department? Or do you see yourself going off-site and eliminating that position out of your department?
I was, my initial plan is it will be off-site, because there's nobody in the office now or any prospects of somebody working for the county doing that. I plan to get a complete information brief
Okay.
to you on that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And I have been talking to Cybertron, he's the lead guy right now.
But, is Captain Myers' retirement imminent? Or-
He's talking 1 December,
Oh, well, that's pretty imminent.
right?
Okay, sorry I asked. Is that why he isn't here today?
Well, Mike's breaking in,
Okay.
Lieutenant
Good.
Santuccio.
The final question that I have, anyhow, is what has been the effect on the sheriff's department of the judicial branch moving to the circuit court? You may not have had any effect yet because it's only been in effect for 3 months.
I've been closely embedded to the best that I can with the administrative office of the courts and the Bureau of Court Facilities. We haven't seen any change. I mean, that was probably a good change that they made. A lot of personnel changes, but the delivery of court services is about the same, and it hasn't changed for us. It has been presented some difficulties in other counties, but we just haven't seen it here. Do you have any comments on that?
No, we're still moving the same prisoners, still prosecuting the same people. It's just, sometimes there's a little bit of difficulty in, with the changeover in administration over there, how that clerk comes in and wants it done with the issuance of warrants and, appearances before the court, how she was as opposed to the other clerks that were there, so, but that's, I think, is behind us, and it was a little uncomfortable, but it was short-lived. It was expected, I think.
So, I mean, you're not seeing an increase in costs associated with it or
No.
anything like that, so.
They seem to be working smart, to be honest with you. It's working for the courts. A lot of hurt feelings, though.
Well, I know there were a lot of hurt feelings,
Yeah.
but change
Change.
always causes hurt feelings. There's
Change is tough.
no question about it.
Change is tough.
Okay. Steve, any last thoughts?
I mean, it's time to go?
Well, I hope so.
No, I don't.
I can answer your question about the sheriff's, some of the expenses and costs, at least.
Why don't you put it in writing to us
Okay.
so that we can have that?
All right, do you mind if I just go over, just so I'm clear, what
Yep.
the expectation is for
Wasn't
me?
returned yet, but that's
Uh,
okay.
All right, to the subcommittee, I'll give you a detailed plan that I'll be doing with Kathy, Gary. And I think we can get that resolved. I mean, it's a matter of mechanics. It's not,
It's not rocket
it's a
science.
challenge, but, we can resolve it. To the commissioners, I'm gonna talk to them about, the whole budget process, the budget officer, that type of thing. I'm gonna ask the county if they'll research some better system. But so that's an offline conversation I'll have with them. I will talk to them about the report flows that you mentioned specifically with Kathy. And I will continue detailed communication with my commissioners. Nobody has communicated more with them than me. Bar none. Okay, for the subcommittee and the commissioners, I will have a detailed information brief about the law enforcement challenges that we talked about. And Representative Umberger, for the record, you are the first person, and I appreciate your vision and your leadership, that has talked about these very issues. They're critical, and it's going to help me deliver better law enforcement to the county. And the last thing you asked for that I have is some type of statement about sheriff's benefits that they use in other counties.
Now, you talked about this was the general policing, that was your second thing that you said, or third thing? You were going to provide us with
Yes,
something on general policing?
yeah, we talked about,
Okay.
that whole, why are we covering all these towns? Why are we doing 24-hour stuff? Why are we calling deputies?
Okay.
Man, I believe that's everything I picked up, unless I
Okay,
missed
that's all
something.
I have. Frank? Okay, Mark?
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your support, I appreciate it.
Okay.
We're gonna have a good budget, yeah.
We will, I don't know when our next county commission meeting is. I know that there are some continuing issues that we need to work on, like, the extra dollars that Representative McCarthy believes should not be spent. So we just need to, that's why we need to get this whole thing done. And I would also suggest that you put together something for your non-union people. Okay, so that no one can question whether or not your non-union people shouldn't have medical insurance and whatever else it is. But Frank is absolutely right that the contract covers only the union people. And if we don't have some kind of personnel policy at the commission that says the non-union people, are covered or whatever, and I don't know whether you do or not.